Hey guys, the Super Review Show here for another episode of Rock Talk. This is the show where I break down albums that turn 20, 30, 40, 50, or albums that you just like in general. And here we go with talking about Nirvana's Nevermind. This album turned 30 today, September 24th, in 1991. This album has turned 30. I don't care about the cover. I know there's first things first. That whole controversy that's going on about this guy himself, who's like, oh well, you know, I'm suing the Nirvana management people. I'm suing Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic for having me on the cover naked. Stupidest lawsuit ever. It was literally 30 years ago. You were a baby. Do not worry about it. You still are a baby for making that lawsuit. Regardless, though, that's what's currently happening now with this album. Believe it or not, 30 years later, you had to wait 30 years to do this. Anyways, this album is a pivotal album in the grand scheme of music in general. Now, whatever you may think of Nirvana, I like Nirvana. I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan. I mean, their fan base is very like, well, Kurt Cobain is like no. I'm just talking about the record. This is an original pressing of 1991's Nirvana's Nevermind. From start to finish, it is a phenomenal album. This album alone was the album that literally made hair metal die. And good riddance, to be honest. I love Def Leppard. I love Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, all that stuff. But at the same time, and Motley Crue, same thing. When this album came out, hair metal died. As far as like the popularity of it goes as being the mainstream thing. And alternative rock took over. As difficult as that was for many people to still accept, I think I'm of the opinion that I love music. I love it all. There's some things I prefer over others. But this album, from start to finish, is a fucking masterpiece. This album has the single Smells Like Teen Spirit. You have to understand, when an artist blows up overnight nowadays, with Billie Eilish, Ed Sheeran, just to name a few examples, who literally came out of nowhere and are everywhere, this was it. Because when MTV dropped that Smells Like Teen Spirit music video back in the early 90s, no one knew what it was going to do. And all of a sudden, they bought this record. They bought Nevermind. They bought this record in droves. It sold millions of copies and taught the world that, hey, we have new rules for the music business. Record companies, come buy up the next band because this is where your audience is now. It's no longer in the radio stations. It's no longer on corporate radio. This is your new audience. And Nirvana's Nevermind showed the world, guess what? We are in the world now. We are the new audience. We are the new music definers. We define music now. And then grunge was launched. That's just how it was. In like you never heard about Def Leppard's Slang album since then, because and that's nothing too. Hair metal tried to copy grunge, and it sucked. It sucked a lot of ass. Slang was awful for Def Leppard. I prefer the Hysteria, Euphoria, Pyromania Def Leppard. Motley Crue. I've never been a fan of Motley Crue. Unpopular opinion. I like 3 songs by them, and that's about it. That's really it. Kickstart My Heart, Girls, and what's the other? Dr. Feelgood. That's really it. I don't really care about any other Motley Crue songs. This album, from start to finish, though, killed that. Because it literally, Motley Crue at the time was selling out stadiums. And when this album came out, Motley Crue went back to clubs. Because no one cared about Motley Crue anymore. No one cared about Def Leppard anymore. I still like those bands. Extreme, anyone? More Than Words? Heart for Whole? I forgot the name of it. Wholehearted? Died. Immediately. Poison? Gone. Rat? Gone. They when they tour, they can't tour big venues anymore because this album plummeted them to the ground. And it's an amazing thing how one record does that. Nirvana's Nevermind. It changed the rules, it rewrote the system, and it changed music forever. I'm still a fan of a lot of those bands I just mentioned. Poison, Journey, Def Leppard, whatever. I'm a fan of all of them. Bon Jovi, big one. It's funny how Bon Jovi survived, just saying. I'll make an editorial video about that. So what can you say about Nirvana's Nevermind? Well, the title, the Smells Like Teen Spirit, was everywhere. So with the way that Ed Sheeran broke out and how Thinking Out Loud was everywhere. Now we have Billie Eilish, who literally came out of SoundCloud. This was the way they did it back in the day. They broke artists on MTV, and sure enough, the whole planet reacted to this. It reacted to Smells Like Teen Spirit, Lithium, Come As You Are, All Apologies, Harp-Shaped Box, Rape Me. This rewrote the rules of the music industry back in the day. And fun fact, this album is punk rock. This album prompted pop punk on every musical artist agenda. Then we got Green Day. Who would have thought? So, I know I'm sounding a little cocky, but this album, as much you could hate it, you could love it. But it changed how we listen to music, how we are with music, how things are written today because of it. It's a very important record. It's widely regarded in the top 20 albums of all time, believe it or not. Because nothing shut out hair metal so fast. So, I've said all that. Let's get into the song tracks. Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Breed, Lithium, Polly, Territorial Pissings, Drain You, Lounge Act, Stay Away, On a Plane, Plain, and Something in the Way. 10 songs, right? No, 12 songs. 12 songs that changed the world. Forever. You can hate Nirvana, but they still changed the world. You cannot deny that. Personally, this album has stood the test of time. It has been a standard on radio for a long time. It's funny how one of my favorite radio stations, for those of you who don't know, I live in New York. I'm not telling you where. But there's a radio station I like to listen to that comes out of New York City that I like to listen to on my computer because it doesn't come in up by me. Called Q104.3, New York's classic rock. What did they start playing recently? Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Green Day, Soundgarden, Red Hot Chili Peppers. The big question is this now classic rock? That's the big question. Because, let's face it, they started playing Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day the other day. Is Nirvana classic rock now? Because it's been so long. Good question. Just wondering. Overall, also, the album cover itself immediately grabbed your attention. It immediately grabbed your attention. It was not your typical hair metal cover of like Motley Crue on the Sunset Strip of LA. It was not the cover of like Dr. Feelgood. It literally, it just said Nirvana's Nevermind, and the photo of the baby with a dollar bill underwater immediately grabbed your attention. It immediately grabbed your attention. So, overall, this album changed music. And it came out 30 years ago today. September 24th, 1991. Who would have thought? Who would have thought this would have come out 30 years ago and 30 years on, despite Kurt Cobain shooting himself? Rip. Seriously. And Dave Grohl going on to do great things with the Foo Fighters, because after all, the Foo Fighters came out of the ashes of Nirvana when Kurt Cobain died. Dave Grohl created the Foo Fighters, and I saw them, and they were great. But this album is a work of art. It really is. And it has stood the test of time. People still listen to it today. In fact, Smells Like Teen Spirit currently has 1.3 billion streams on Spotify. Think about that. a song that's 30 years old has just reached, and is still going up, 1.3 billion streams on Spotify. Right there. Who would have thought? It rewrote the rules. It changed the way we listen to music. It changed the industry from head to toe. And it told us how we can enjoy music differently and completely changed everything. One more side note before we wrap this video today. I did a review for Pearl Jam's 30th anniversary of 10. Pearl Jam released their album in August. I mentioned this back then too. Pearl Jam's 10 was released on August 27th, 1991. This was released literally a month later on September 24th, 1991. And this album helped launch Pearl Jam go sky high. Because Pearl Jam was such like a unique thing at the time. Like, oh, whatever, it didn't really do well. But once this album came out, it launched the grunge movement that we all look back and say, huh, that was pretty crazy. Lollapalooza, anyone? So, anyways, what are your thoughts on Nirvana? Please let me know what you guys are saying in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Happy 30th anniversary, Nirvana. Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic, you guys are watching over. Not watching over. You guys are great. Your bass playing was great. Drums were great. And Kurt Cobain, I think he was a very talented writer, truthfully. And he will be forever missed. He would have been like 55 by now. But if he didn't die. He was something else. He re-engineered music to the best of his ability. And he loved the Beatles. He loved AC/DC. He loved Black Sabbath, Queen. And he made something that is forever timeless. So, Kurt Cobain, God bless you. You were one of a kind, and you always will be in everyone's hearts who loves this music of yours. So, thank you so much. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? Jump down in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on Nevermind by Nirvana's Nevermind. Were you alive during grunge? What happened? Was it really that giant momentous thing? Because I wasn't alive then, but I read about it and it just overtook everything. Did this album like change your life? What did you guys think about this? Jump down in the comment section below. Love to hear your thoughts on this. But for all of your Rock Talk episodes, keep locked on this review show. The J-Man is off to rock. We'll see you guys later.